And thank you for joining us on your lunch breaks for most of you, I would imagine. I'm really excited and grateful to be here today. We are going to do a Pilates mat class, but I'm going to kind of mix it up with some standing Pilates work that maybe you might do on something like the Cadillac or the Reformer at the same time. For today's mat class and today's workshop, what we're going to use is we're going to use one of the TheraBands. So if you can grab from your studio or from your house at the moment, if you're joining us from there, a TheraBand will be great. If you don't happen to have a TheraBand, you can also use some hand weights too, instead of a TheraBand or some kind of resistance band of some kind. We're also going to use a small Pilates ball. So something about a medium size would be perfect. Again, if you don't have something like this, you might be able to use a cushion for a lot of the workout too. So, or just nothing at all. Okay, so all of the exercises can pretty much be modified with or without the equipment. So I'm really excited to be joining you today. We're actually at my studio at Bondi Beach, Balance Moves at Bondi Beach. And we've got some exciting things coming up. We've got a Barre teacher training coming up in September. So would love all of you to join that. And we've also got a group reformer teacher training coming up, launching in February. So we're going to give some details about all of that at the end of the class today. And we're also going to give 2 free spots. So 1 spot to our Barre teacher training and 1 spot to our Pilates group teacher training. So super excited. Hold on the call. We'll tell you at the end how to actually get those spots in. So we're going to start standing up. Let's start to really enjoy this class for ourselves. So I feel like as instructors and as trainers, we don't get the opportunity all the time to actually just restore and revitalize and energize our own bodies. So I'd really like today that would be our focus on what we're going to do. Also, in some of the briefings you would have had that we're going to talk about lots of cueing today too. I will use lots of imagery cueing throughout the class today. And also another type of cue which I use, which I really like, which is bringing you more body awareness, which is bringing your attention to a certain area. So for example, look down at your feet, make sure your toes are long, make sure extending up through your spine. So it's all about kind of educating yourself on, oh, what is my body actually doing at this point? So I will reference lots of those things through the class too. So just hearing or listening for that imagery work and also those cues of, this is where you should be activating. Let's have a check on yourself and let's see kind of where your alignment's at through those exercises. Great, so we're going to start standing up. We're going to grab that resistance band, lengthening up through the spine. We're going to have our legs hip width apart, so just glance down towards your feet. Make sure your legs are hip width apart. They're parallel like a little equals sign. We're lengthening up through the whole spine, opening out through the chest and the shoulders. We're tucking the chin in towards the chest. We're slowly peeling all the way down and then slowly peeling all the way back up, opening out through the chest and the shoulders. Small little pulse back with the arms. So we go pulse, 2, 3, slowly peeling down. Slowly peeling and articulating all the way back up and pulsing the arms back, 2, 3. So I've just got that slight bend in the knees. Checking that as you roll down, your knees are tracking over the toes. We're feeling that peeling up through the spine, opening across the chest, opening across the shoulders as you draw all the way back up. So a little standing warm up to start for today, holding it up at the top, lengthening through the spine. We lift up and over to one side, getting that little lateral stretch. Lengthening back up and over to the other side, stretching back up and over, lengthening up and over, lengthening back up. So really feeling like you're creating that big semicircle through your shoulders, through your chest, as we lengthen up and draw over the top. So those of you who are just popping into this call, I really invite you just to move through this workout for yourselves, just to re-energize and restore that energy through your whole body and your mind as we start to move through. Getting that lateral reach up and over to one side, up and over to the other side, holding it all the way up, lengthening through the spine. We're going to squat back, reach the arms forward, lengthening back up and squat back and lengthening back up. So as I said in the beginning, if you don't have a resistance band, using those hand weights will be perfect. All the way down, all the way up. So we're sitting up, up and back, lengthening up through the spine. Sitting at bottom, up and back, lengthening up through the spine at the top. On the next, we're going to hold it down. We're going to sweep the arms back, reach the arms forward, sweep the arms back, reach the arms forward. Keeping that length out through the crown of the head. Glance down at your feet, make sure your toes are long. Chest stays open, shoulders stay broad. As you reach your arms back behind you, hold it back, little pulses, back, 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 back. Try and get down a little deeper into that position, like we're going to try and sit down on a stool behind us. Feel that opening across the chest and the shoulders. Hold the arms back. We bend the elbows. We push back. Bend the elbows. Push back. Bend the elbows. Push back. Keep lengthening out through the crown of the head. Get down a little deeper. Get down a little lower. And draw all the way back up. Taking one foot out, keeping one foot in the elastic. Head up, chest up. We're going to go into a little lunge here with a bicep curl. All the way down with that back knee, all the way back up. It's a little bit of standing Pilates work / bar attack work to just start to activate through our whole body before we come onto the floor, onto the mat. In a lot of my classes at the studio, we'll either start the class standing or we'll finish the class standing. So today, we're going to do that standing portion at the start of the class. Last couple. Last one from here. Flip the elastic behind the elbows. Reach the arms up above the head, drawing that down. So doing a little shoulder press above the head, holding that static lunge position. Lengthening up through the crown of the head. Really trying to create that reach right up above the head. Elbows right out to the side. Let's hold it open. Close the arms in, push the arms open. Close the arms in, push the arms open. Holding it back, little pulses back, 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 back. Feel that openness across your shoulders and that pushing back through the elbows, and then also that pressing back through the hands. Keep lengthening through the spine. Get down a little deeper into that static lunge. And drawing all the way back up. From here, we're going to straighten the back leg completely. We reach down towards the floor in that hinging action. Bicep curl, little shoulder press. Reaching forward, bicep curl. Shoulder press up, reaching forward, bicep curl, little punch up towards the ceiling. Again, just check on that front foot, making sure the toes are long. Nice little challenge for our balance and our stability, doing it with the resistance band. Holding it forward. From here, we wrap the elastic around our hands, so we tighten up the elastic a little bit more. Feel that length through the heel and out through the crown of the head. And we go into a little row and reach, row and reach, row and reach. Finding that length through the spine. Shaving those elbows in next to the body. Holding it back here, little pulses, back, 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 back. Can you stretch that back heel away a little further? Can you feel like you're trying to draw those shoulder blades together at the back a little more? Reach the arms forward, palms down, pull the elbows out to the side, reach the arms forward. Now that front hamstring and glute should be well and truly firing up by now. If it's not, bend that front knee, pitch further forward into that position. From here, hold the elbows back and tiny little pulses up and back, like we're trying to create that U shape through the arms. Last two. Last one, lengthening all the way back up. Undo that elastic a little bit so it's a little longer. Let's switch over with the legs. Shifting across, so we're doing a lunge on the other side. And into our bicep curl lunge, stretch it back up. Bicep curl lunge, stretch it back up. So thinking about those legs and those feet like little train tracks, try not to have them stacked in front of each other too much. Let's really have them hip width apart. As you're going down into that lunge position, trying to pull your hands all the way to the shoulders as you draw down and you draw back up. Holding it down, flip the elastic behind the elbows, open out through the chest, reach the arms up and out to the side. Trying to get a little bit more length through the torso. So feeling like we're sucking up through the tummy, lengthening up through the crown of the head, like we're sucking everything up through a straw. So we're really keeping that length through the whole torso. Hold the elbows out to the side, little pulses back, 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 back. Feel like your sternum is drawing up and forward. Bend that front knee. Let's try and all get down a little bit lower. A little bit lower. And from here, reaching forward into our hinging pattern. Reaching forward, bicep curl, shoulder press. Reaching forward, bicep curl, shoulder press. Good, you're going to find out pretty quickly if you've got one side that feels more stable than the other. Feeling that length up through the crown of the head as you reach up at the top. And we hold it forward. Wrap the elastic around the hands, elbows in and reach, elbows in and reach into our narrow row. Can you find a little more length out through the crown of the head? So we feel like we're one long lengthened line from the heel all the way up through the spine to the crown of the head, like we're in a plank position here as we're pitched forward. Holding the elbows back for a moment, little pulses back. Good, try and pull those elbows back a little bit further, bend the front knee more, and reach the arms forward, pulling the elbows out wide. Reach forward, elbows out wide, reaching forward, elbows out wide, reaching forward. Find a little more length out through the crown of the head. Good, that front glute and hamstring should be starting to burn a little more. Check your toes on the front foot, make sure they're long. Bend that front knee a little further. Finding that length through the spine, last couple. Last one. And coming all the way back up, standing on that elastic. Bend the knee slightly, lengthen through the spine, slowly peeling all the way down towards the mat. Good. And let's hop onto the mat. So nice little standing warm up, something that I would normally add at the start or the end of the class as an option. I feel like Pilates in general is much more efficient if we can kind of do a little bit of standing work as well as the traditional mat base as well. So we're going to pop the ball this time behind our mid back. If you don't have a ball, you can just do all these exercises without the ball on the mat. We're reaching out through the arms. We're finding more of our C-curve shape through the spine. From here, little pulses up and up and up and up and up. So we're feeling like we've got an elastic band attached from our rib cage and our hip bones. Now, can we keep tightening that elastic band as we're drawing up? And can we keep pressing back into that ball as we scoop and lift up, scoop and lift up, scoop and lift up? Palms together, reach across, and small little twists up and over, up and over, up and over. So feeling that rotation up and across, up and across, up and across. And other side, up and over, reaching and stretching, reaching and stretching, reaching and stretching. Feel that twist and rotation without your hips misaligning. So check on your hips. Make sure we're not twisting one hip across to the point of where we're twisting to. Yeah, opposite hip stays anchored. Last couple. Last one, come back through the center, coming all the way up. Grab your ball, line all the way back down. Pop the ball in between the inner thighs, reaching out through the fingertips. Feel like you're high-fiving the mat. So pressing down, opening out through the shoulders. Coming into our pelvic lift. Inhale, peeling up. Exhale, peeling all the way down. Inhale, peeling up. Exhale, peeling all the way back down. So thinking about your spine being like a string of pearls. We're trying to do that articulation all the way up and down, feeling every vertebrae on the way up, every vertebrae on that way back down. Big inhale, peeling up. Exhale, peeling all the way back down. Inhale, peeling all the way up. Exhale, peeling all the way back down. So I really want you guys to enjoy this workout. So let's really focus a lot also on our breath work. So deep inhale up. Exhale, peeling that down. Big inhale up. Exhale, peeling all the way back down. Last one here, peeling all the way up. Hold it up, squeezing into that ball. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Can you still feel that high-fiving down on the mat with your fingertips, with the palms of the hands? And slowly peeling all the way back down. Bringing our hands behind our head. Interlace the fingers. Exhale, coming up with the upper body into a chest lift and drawing back down. And exhale, coming into that chest lift and drawing back down. And exhale, coming up and drawing back down. As you're coming up, glancing down in between the hip bones. Make sure we're not poofing out through the belly. Make sure we're trying to squirt through the belly as we draw up and we draw back down. And then from here, we're coming into one pelvic lift and one chest lift and one pelvic lift and one chest lift. So a bit of a Kundalini kind of yoga concept, this one, working front part of the body, working back part of the body, and then finding your own rhythm with that movement pattern really starts to re-energize your body. So working the back part of the body, working the front part of the body, evenly completing one of each. So try not to meld both of them together. So you're not melting kind of the chest lift and the pelvic lift into one. Try and complete one of each. One chest lift, one pelvic lift, and then just finding your personal rhythm with that. Continuing to squeeze into the ball, and that ball is just helping keep that neutral alignment. That inner line of the leg really working hard, helping with that connection through our lower pelvis, inner thighs, and lower pelvic floor. And now from here, we're going to lift our legs up to a tabletop position. More of our traditional exercise into your chest lift and into our hundreds, pumping the arms in 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling through the nose for 5 counts. Exhaling through the mouth for 5 counts. Again, glancing down to your hip bones. Make sure you're finding that deep scoop in between the hip bones as you're pumping the arms up and down. Those of you who want a little extra, on our exhale, we're going to stretch and extend the legs out. On the inhale, we bend the knees back in. On the exhale, we stretch and we lengthen away. On the inhale, we bend the knees back in. Try and feel like we're lengthening the legs through water as we draw out and pull back in. It's like we're pushing away and pulling back in, and pushing away and pulling back in, and pushing away and pulling back in, and pushing away and pulling back in. Great work. Hug the knees in for a moment. Reach the arms out to the side like a letter T. Suction cut the palms down into the floor. And from here, we take the knees across to one side. Inhale, exhale, drawing back through the center. Inhale over. Exhale, drawing back through the center. So really feel that it's a scoop through your abdominals, which draw the legs back through the center. Inhale over, scoop through your abdominals, draw back through the center. Inhale over, exhale, scoop through the tummy to draw everything back through the center. Inhale over, exhale back through the center. Inhaling over, exhaling back through the center. One more of these, and drawing over and back through the center. Hug the knees in towards your chest, hold behind your thighs, walk up to a seated position. We're going more of that open, rolling like a ball. So exhale as we come up, inhale as we draw back. Now let's think about our spine being like that rounded ball shape as we're rocking back and up. That makes it easier to roll through the spine. We also get more of that massaging motion through the spine as we're drawing up. Deep exhale as we come up. Inhale back. Exhale up. Inhale back. Exhale up. Inhale back. Exhale up. One more of these. Let's hold it up for a moment. Can you scoot through your belly a little more? Can you round through your shoulders, but still keep a little bit of a chest lift there? So we're not closing through the shoulders. Elbows are pulling out to the side, holding that balance. And then sitting all the way back up. For the moment, let's pop the ball to the side and grab that resistance band again. Bringing that resistance band over our feet. Legs are hip-width apart, lengthening through the spine. Tuck under through the pelvis, find that C-curve shape through the spine. Coming back up, and we're going to row elbows out. And 2 and 3. Peeling back, scoot through the belly. Peeling back up, elbows out. 2, 3. Good. Making sure we're finding the C-curve, but then we find that straight, neutral, flat back. Pulling the elbows out to the side. And peeling back. And peeling forward. Pulling those elbows out to the side. Keeping that length out through the crown of the head. And tucking under. And drawing forward, changing it slightly. Elbows in, palms up. And reach forward. Elbows in, palms up. Reach forward. Elbows in, palms up. Reach forward. Hold it back. 3 pulses. Pulse, 2, 3. Peel it back. Peel it forward. Sitting up tall. Row elbows in. 2, 3. And peeling back. And peeling forward. Sit up tall for that row. Last one. And peeling back. And peeling forward. Sitting up tall. Elbows in. Chest open. Hold it here for a moment. Can you lengthen up a little taller? A little taller. Lengthen through the back of the head and neck. And slowly peeling all the way back. Taking your left leg out of that elastic, right leg up towards the ceiling. Either way is fine. We're going to do both sides for our leg circles. I want us to try and keep this bottom knee bent today. So top leg straight, bottom knee bent. And we're going into our traditional leg circles. So we're circling the leg up and around. Lubricating through that hip joint as we do that leg circle. So really nice for that ball and socket joint through the pelvis and through the hip as we do that circle around and lift up and circle around and lift up. Now I want you to be a little more conscious of what's happening through the bottom knee that's bent. I don't want to see that knee rocking and rolling around. I want you to try and push down into the foot and push down so we're stabilizing through that thigh and through that whole side of the body. Change direction of the circle, circling and drawing back up. So the bigger the circle, the more you're going to get that lubrication through that hip socket and that hip joint. But don't do a bigger circle if you can feel that that bottom knee is rocking and rolling around. I prefer you make it a little small circle around and try and get that stabilizing through that bottom knee. Feel that length out through the crown of the head. Feel that length out through the torso as you're doing these circles. It should feel really nice, especially with that resistance band over the foot. Now from here, we switch it over to the other leg, other side. So carefully switching it over. Watch out with that resistance band. It doesn't come off your foot. And then from here, we're doing those leg circles again. So up and around, and up and around, and up and around. Big circles. Again, focus on that bottom thigh, that bottom foot that's pressing down into the mat as you're doing those circles with the top leg. Can you also try and feel that the opposite side to the leg that's moving, that side of the waist is actually what's anchoring you down into the mat. So opposite side of the waist, the leg that's moving, that's the side of the waist where we want to be anchoring down into the mat to help us to stabilize more. Making sure you have changed directions if you haven't already, circling around and making those circles a little smaller if you need to help with that stabilizing. Last couple. Last one. From here, bend the knees in. Again, rock up to that seated position. Once we rock up to that seated position, releasing the elastic off the feet, grabbing the ball, we're going to roll over onto our side. So we're going to use the ball for some of our oblique work. We're actually going to tuck it underneath the side of the waist. So here, I'm just pressing on the side of my waist. So I come right over onto my side. So I've got hips and shoulders stacked over each other. Let's lengthen all the way out over that ball. Reach that top arm up and over your head, and we're just rocking forward, and rocking back, and rocking forward, and rocking back. So we're really going to work all planes of motion through the body today. My favorite way to kind of work on the mat is actually doing like a full rotation on the mat. So thinking about the ceiling being where our activation point is. So for example, we're on our side at the moment. So our activation point being the side of the waist where we're going to work. And we keep rotating around on the mat to ensure that we do a full body, well-rounded core-based workout. So this workout today is based off contemporary Pilates exercises and also some more traditional Pilates exercises. Holding it there, find that spot where you need the stretch, breathe into it. Couple of deep breaths in and out. Big inhale, big exhale, releasing out. Relieving any tension through your jaw. You might want to open your mouth, open and close to release any tension there. Big inhale, big exhale. And now from here, we're lifting up to the side. So we're contracting through the waist to lift up to the side. It's not a big lift. And then reaching all the way up and over. And stretching up to the side and all the way up and over. So we're going to go exhale up, inhale up and over, and exhale up, and inhale up and over, and exhale up, and inhale up and over. So from here, we start to lift the side leg up with that movement pattern and stretch up and over the top, and exhale coming up, and inhale reaching over, and exhale coming up, and inhale, reaching over. So be aware that we want to try and keep that top leg parallel. So just glance towards the foot for a moment, making sure that leg's parallel as we lift up and then stretch away and lifting up and stretching away. One more here. Hold it here, chest open, shoulders back, stretching out through that leg, reaching through that top arm and drawing all the way back down. Good. Find that spot again where you need that stretch, releasing there, breathing into the side of the waist, expanding and opening up through the rib cage. And now from here, we're going to challenge a little bit more with our side kick series. So that bottom hand is going to go behind the head, lengthening out through the top leg at hip height. Slightly externally rotate that top leg for more of that traditional Pilates position. And we're going to go pulse, pulse to the front and reach the back. And pulse, pulse to the front and reach the back. So we're trying to keep our torso as stable as possible. Torso stability exercise. Okay, and making it a little bit harder with that ball underneath the side of the waist. And you're welcome to do it flat on the mat if with that ball feels uncomfortable in any way. Pulse, pulse to the front, reach it to the back. Pulse, pulse to the front and reach it to the back. That's it. So we're trying to get as much range of motion as we can to the front and to the back while keeping everything else still. So if you can feel you're moving forward and back, make it smaller. Bring the leg to the side, lower it back down. We point up, legs down, point up, legs down, point up, legs down. We're keeping that side leg nice and parallel for the moment. Lengthen it out, small little circles. Now let's try and get these circles behind the body. So we're opening up through the front of the hip, lengthening out through the front of the hip, reaching that leg up and behind, up and behind, up and behind. Change directions other way, sweeping it back and around, back and around, back and around. Good. Gloat on that top leg, should be starting to feel it. This bottom leg that we're pushing down into the floor, we're stabilizing through that leg, we're pushing down through that leg as we're moving in space here. Keep reaching and stretching through that top leg. Good, and lower it back down. Take that other stretch again, reaching over the top, relaxing there for a moment, lengthening out. And now from here, we're sitting up on this side, so this bottom leg stays bent. The top leg bends, we're going to reach up and over the top. So the ball moves to the other side. We lengthen up at the top and we reach over into our mermaid. Lengthening up, reaching over the top. Now, if you find this Z sit position too challenging,
You can always sit on a small moon box. So on a small box, on 3 or 4 towels, and that just kind of gives you a little bit more space in this position as we move. So lengthening up, reaching over, lengthening up, reaching over, really enjoying that lateral movement. So activating and stretching through our body a lot through this class. All the way up and over, bring that top hand behind the head. We're drawing down towards the floor and we're drawing up towards the ceiling. So finding that spiraling movement, spiraling down, spiraling up. If that twisting action is too much on your spine, you've got any back pain, then stay with that lateral movement instead, so it won't be as much through the spine. Deep exhale, big inhale, deep exhale, big inhale, deep exhale, big inhale, deep exhale, big inhale, holding it here. Find that spot where you're challenged, breathing into that challenge point, keeping that length out through your elbow. So feel the connection between your elbow and that bottom palm that's pushing into the ball. Can you lengthen a little further there? Can you reach a little further there? And drawing all the way back to that neutral position. Fantastic. Let's reset the other side. So swing your legs across to the other side, grabbing that ball, bringing that ball underneath the side of the waist, reaching and lengthening out to the side. Bottom hand grabs hold of the top wrist, and we're just rocking forward and rocking back, and rocking forward and rocking back. Finding that spot that you need the stretch, you need that lengthening, reaching out and into it, stretching out and into it. And big inhale, big exhale. Reaching out through that top arm, and we're coming into those obliques. So making sure, again, hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. We're on that side plane of the body. Exhale up, inhale, reach, exhale up, inhale, reach. So allowing that ball to get you to stretch out and lengthen out a little further as we come up and over the top. And then we start to lift the side leg up, reach and stretch up and over. And then reach and stretch up and over. So feeling that contraction through the upper part of the waist as we come up and reaching over the top. And lifting up and reaching over the top. Lifting up and then reaching over the top, and hold it up for a moment. Check that that side leg is parallel. Chest open, shoulders back. Breathing, reaching, and stretch all the way up and over, lengthening out. Once you feel like you've gathered that stretch on that side, bring that bottom hand behind the head. Lengthen out through the crown of the head, still lift the top leg up. Externally rotate it slightly, and we go pulse, pulse to the front, and reaching the leg to the back. Pulse, pulse to the front, and reaching that leg to the back. With this bottom knee, let's keep pressing it down into the floor. Let's keep anchoring this bottom knee down. Okay, so that bottom leg remains active. It also helps us with that torso stability as we're moving through this action. I want to see that you can get as much range of motion through that leg as you can, as you're pulsing it to the front and reaching it to the back. Hold it to the side. We go point up, flex down, point up, flex down, point up, flex down. Can you make that leg longer and longer? Like somebody is pulling that leg away from you. Actively pulling that leg and lengthening that leg away. Holding the leg up, stretch it out even further, and small little circles up and behind the body. Reach it out, reach it out, reach it out. Up and behind, up and behind, up and behind. Lengthen out through that leg a little more. Check that you're still scooping and connecting through your tummy. Change directions, reaching it back and around, reaching it back and around. And drawing it all the way back down. Take that stretch. Allow that bottom leg to lengthen out that little bit further. Reach reaching away, rolling back towards the ceiling if that feels good for you. And carefully coming all the way up to a seated position, finding your Z sit position. So bent knee, reaching through the arms, stretching up, lengthen through the spine and come up and over. And lengthening up and reaching up and over. So pretend we've got a big beach ball on the underneath side of our body. We're lengthening and coming over the top and lengthening up and reaching over and lengthening up and reaching over the top. Good, don't forget, one side might feel different to the other side, and it's okay to kind of pad up underneath your bottom on one side if you feel like you need to. You could also do this in a cross-legged position if it's too awkward in this Z sit. Reaching up and over the top, holding it over the top. Bring the top hand behind your head. We're spiraling down towards the floor. We're spiraling up towards the ceiling. And exhale. And inhale up. 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 Keep that going. Trying to find your range of motion. Lengthening up and around. All the way down. Lengthening up and around. Hold it here. Breathe into it. Push your head against your hands a little bit more. Rotate towards the ceiling a little further. Big inhale, big exhale. Lengthening up with the sternum, up with the chest towards the ceiling. That's it. Big inhale, big exhale. And releasing from there. Great work. That should feel much better with that mobilizing through our torso. Re-energizing through our body as we do that. We're going to come over onto our stomach. We're reaching the arms out in front of us. We've put our kind of wrists on the ball there. Legs are hip width apart. From here, we push into the ball and we gently roll it towards us. So just going into that upper thoracic extension and drawing all the way back down. Inhale as we're peeling up. Exhale as you're drawing back down. Inhale as you're peeling up, looking out in front of you, shoulders drawing down and lengthening all the way back up. And inhale, peeling up. Exhale, drawing back down. Inhale, peeling up. Exhale, reaching all the way up. Then lifting one leg up and stretching away. And inhale, lifting one leg up and stretching away. So we keep alternating which leg we're lifting, really making sure that we do our flexion, our extension, our lateral movement patterns, helping with that stability through our whole body. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. Great work. As you're coming up in that extension, try and feel like you're watching a marble roll out in front of you on the way up, and then you're watching that marble roll back towards you on the way back down. Inhale, rolling up, looking out in front of you. Exhale, drawing back down. Great work. If this is feeling good for you, let's lift both legs up now. Otherwise, continue with what we're doing. And small little heel beats. In. Keep broadening across the chest and the shoulders. Small little heel beats. Push into that ball a little bit more. So it's a long, extended position. Like a little dolphin shape there. Nice and long and lengthened. Not contracting through too much through the lumbar spine. And drawing all the way back down, stretching all the way out. Come up into your hands and knees and sit back into a quick rest position, just releasing any tension through the spine, reaching out through the fingertips. If you feel it's comfortable for you, you can reach your hands across to one side, stretching out, lengthening out to that side. And the other side, reaching out, stretching out to the other side. And coming back through the center. Healing all the way back up, grabbing that ball again as an option for our next exercise. From here, we're going to grab the ball and bring it behind one of our thighs, so either thigh, and then the opposite arm and leg is going to reach away. So we've got the leg reaching behind us, and we've got the arm reaching out in front of us. We reach out, and draw back in, and reach it out and draw it back in. Breathing through, reaching out, drawing back in, lengthening out, drawing back in. So thinking about your spine being more like a neutral spine at the moment, like you would have in your plank positions as you're drawing out and coming back in. Let's hold it up for a moment, little pulses. So we're working on that diagonal sling pattern through the body, helping us to stand a little taller, helping with our posture, reaching out and drawing that down. We're going to move a little further through that now. So now we round through the spine, and now we try and extend through the spine. Round through the spine, and try and extend up through the spine. So we're getting more and more mobility here. Rounding through the spine, extending through the spine. Again, if these bigger movement patterns don't feel good on your body, stay with a smaller movement pattern. If you're not liking that on the wrists, come onto the fists as you move through. Big exhale under, inhale away. Exhale under, inhale away. Exhale under, inhale away, and drawing all the way back down. Let's repeat all of that on the other side. So finding that neutral position first. Hands directly underneath the shoulders, reaching out and drawing back in. Just glancing at that bottom hand for a moment, making sure that bottom hand is like a little starfish in space. We're opening up through the fingertips. We're lengthening out through the crown of the head, really reaching through the fingertips and the toes as you lengthen out. Feel that reach away, feel that stretch away. And holding it out, little pulses up, 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 up. And drawing that down, coming onto your fists or staying on the palms of the hands for that scooping under, rounding and arching away. And scooping under and rounding and lengthening away. And scooping under and rounding and lengthening away. Exhale under. Inhale, reach. Exhale under. Inhale, reach. Exhale under. Inhale, reach. Last couple under. And lengthening away. Drawing that down, grabbing that ball, pop it in between the inner thighs, lengthening out through the crown of the head, tuck your toes underneath. We're coming into a little hover here. So we lift the knees, tap the knees, lift the knees, tap the knees, lift the knees, tap the knees. Again, feel like you're broadening across the shoulders, broadening across the chest, lengthening out through the crown of the head, lifting your knees up slightly, we come up to that high pyramid, we come forward and we tap the knees, and we come up to that high pyramid, and we come forward and we tap the knees, and high pyramid, and come forward and tap the knees, and high pyramid, and come forward and tap the knees. From here, we get to go into the really yummy part, turning around from here. We're going to come into some upper thoracic release work. So from here, you're bringing that ball to kind of where your bra strap is, or just underneath kind of armpits. From here, lengthening out, opening out through the spine. Inhale here for a moment. Exhale, releasing any tension there. Feeling that length out through the crown of the head. Big inhale, big exhale. We've done all of that work through your body to balance out those core connections, helping us being stronger in our body and our mind. From here, bring the soles of the feet together, chest open. You might want to do some little cactus arms, so we bend the elbows out to the side, opening out through the chest, opening out through the shoulders, lengthening out through the crown of the head. Allow those knees to open, allow your chest to open in that position. Big inhale, big exhale. Gentle pressure on the back of the head and neck. Big inhale, big exhale. One more inhale and exhale there. Rolling over onto your side, grabbing that ball. If you can reach the arms out in front of you, last little opening work for today. Reaching out, closing back in, That bottom hand can grab hold of your top knee to really feel that release and opening out and drawing back in, and releasing and opening out and drawing back in. Stretching out, opening out, releasing any tension through your upper back and your shoulders, really breathing into it. And stretching over to the other side, knees come across, reaching out through that top arm, big circle up and around, drawing back in, big circle up and around, and drawing back in. Feel that stretch through the arm, feel that reach through the arm. Last couple. And grounding back with that original exercise that we did, popping that ball in between the inner thighs, reaching through the arms. Inhale, peeling up in your pelvic lift, and peeling and curling all the way back down. So remembering that string of pearls through the spine. Inhaling up, exhaling, peeling back down. So just having that acknowledgement of how much better your body is feeling after us moving through all those planes of motion through your body, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Option to come into that rhythm of your chest lift and your pelvic lift and your chest lift and your pelvic lift, moving smoothly through both of those positions. Feeling that gained awareness of how your body is moving in space. Last couple. Last one, peeling and curling back down. One hand in your chest, one hand in your belly. Big inhale, big exhale. Big inhale. Big exhale, releasing any further tension through your jaw, through your body with this exhale. Great work. We are all done for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm always really grateful to do these kind of little mini classes and workshops. As I said in the beginning, we would love any of you to join our courses that are coming up, and we do have a little special offer for all of you who've stayed on board up until this point. If you join us on Instagram with Body Maestro by Renee Scott, and on Facebook, we will be in contact because we've got those two spots, one in our bar attack teacher training and one in our group reformer training coming very early in Feb next year. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the chat. I'm happy to stay here as long as we need to. I'd love to be able to answer any questions that you have about anything, whether it be that workout or how I put together actual mat classes, bar classes, Pilates reformer classes. Any questions on those topics, happy to answer all of those questions coming through.
All right, so Mary asked, where is Body Maestro based?
Oh, Body Maestro, where's Body Maestro based? Well, currently Body Maestro is based in Bondi Beach in Sydney, but actually all of our courses are all online. So you can do them from anywhere, anyhow. With any of our courses, we do a live stream on all of our courses. So for example, like we're doing right now, we do a live stream that you can kind of log in from anywhere and we stream through. So you actually become part of the process and we make it really interactive. So we talk to the screen. We have question time to the screen and a separate time for those people who are also joining us either face-to-face or online. And also all of our courses, you can actually do all of them conducted purely online as well. So those of you who like to do things at your own pace, all of those things can be done online at your own pace in your own time. So I'm always available though too. I really like to kind of offer up as much to our students as we possibly can. So I also do like one-on-one privates or group classes actively in the studio. I'm always in the studio 3 to 4 days a week to make sure I can do that. And also we can do that live via Zoom too. So it's not restricted. I wouldn't say that Body Maestro is restricted at all from a bricks and mortar studio that we have here in Bondi Beach. Actually, it's something now which we've made it really purely accessible for everyone.
everyone to join.
So when you were on the side with the ball on the here, somebody said, is it better to have a bent leg or a straight leg on the stabilizing side?
On the stabilizing side. So the question was, when I put the ball on the side, is it better to have the bottom knee bent, or is it better to have the bottom leg straight? With the bottom leg straight, it's going to be much, much harder to balance. So I suggest with the bottom leg straight, you bring the leg slightly forward of the body. So more traditional Pilates side lying position is both legs in front to a 45-degree angle with the leg straight. So if you're going to have the bottom leg straight, I suggest for the side kicks that you bring the bottom leg further forward. For the oblique work, it doesn't work as well kind of coming up with that straight-legged position. So with the oblique work, it's definitely better to have the anchoring of that bottom knee pressing into the floor. So thinking about our lever system, shorter lever makes everything easier. Longer lever makes everything harder. So if you're wanting to modify the exercise, go a shorter lever, which is the bottom knee bent. If you're wanting to make that exercise harder, then longer lever with the bottom leg straight will make that exercise harder on those side kicks. But I definitely suggest for the oblique ones, though, stay with the bent knee, because otherwise the exercise, you won't be able to get into your obliques as much. You won't be able to get the same height.
And so she's also asking for a second exercise while laying on the back and doing the leg circles. What about this stabilizing leg?
So leg circles, so our traditional Pilates leg circles, as a modification, the bottom knee is bent in your leg circles. That's a modified version of our traditional, as per Joseph Pilates leg circle exercise. But the bottom leg can also be straight and in line with the hip. And then you take the leg across the body and up. So traditional exercise, it goes across and lift, across and lift, across and lift, across and lift. So there's an accent and up, and up, and up, and up on the really traditional exercise. So again, same idea, bottom leg straight, longer lever, harder exercise. Bottom knee bent, shorter lever, easier exercise. So it depends on kind of your focus for the class. You could do both, for example.
Next question, what do you say to people who tell you their hip clicks but don't really hurt? Do you give them a different exercise?
On the hip circles, if somebody's hip is clicking and it's not hurting them as such, I might get them to internally rotate or externally rotate through the leg, and then that will change the way that that ball and socket joint is moving with the tendon in that ball and socket joint. Normally that will alleviate that clicking or will alleviate any type of discomfort or clicking when you actually do that. So because everybody's hips are functioned and built differently. So that lubrication through the hip joint and doing that exercise is really important. So as long as it's not hurting, it's really important to make sure that we are getting that circular motion through the hip. It's a natural kind of part of the hip socket and the hip joint that we should be able to do. So I also think that using the elastic over the foot is also a really good modification. Sometimes people push forward too much through that hip socket and kind of pull it out of its joint almost. So using the resistance band to put over the foot actually kind of anchors it back in the hip a little more and can be super helpful for those people who do get that kind of clicking through the hip socket and through the hip joint. So I think that's kind of answered your question on that one.
All right, so somebody's asking about the teacher training. Do you run teacher training? Are they in person? Are they online? Can you tell them about everything?
Yeah, so we do run lots of teacher training. So I run Barre teacher training, which has now been going for 10 years online, either solely online or face-to-face or streaming via Zoom. So we do that Barre teacher training for bar fitness certification. We've got one in September coming up. We're also running Pilates Mat workshops and online teacher training, and also our Pilates Reformer group teacher training. So any of those options for the Pilates Mat and the Pilates Reformer, if you pop yourself on the waitlist for Body Maestro, when you go to the bodymaestro.com website, pop yourself on the waitlist, you'll be the first people to kind of get in and on that listing for the opportunity to come to those ones, because obviously we kind of limit numbers when we are doing those courses. And as soon as we get them up online, we can also notify you. So if you have a preference to doing it solely online, we'll notify you about that. But we'll also notify you as the first person in line on that wait list to make sure you do get into that
course first, because we'll only accept a maximum of 22 people for any of those courses. So it's really exciting. A lot of those ones we've been developing for a long time. I've been teaching now for 22 years. So it's a really long time. Lots of kind of education and advice going into all of those great courses. And I think that they're kind of geared to what people really need in our now society. It's really important for me on all of those courses also, and all of the programs that we offer, to make sure that they're full body balanced workouts. So what I'm seeing a lot in the industry at the moment is there's not balance in the workouts. I kind of load one area too much, whereas all of our workouts have a signature flow and have a signature balance, which I think I'm really proud of, that is only kind of being able to happen with experience, really. But all of that guidance I take you through, and I make sure that then I give you all my hints and tips to make sure that you can be the best you can be, because it's not about me holding on to that knowledge. It's about me spreading that knowledge and making sure that you can use that in your own studios for your own success. So that's super, super important to me. And I'm very, very passionate about kind of sharing as much as I can.
Somebody is asking, do your teacher training attract CCs?
Yes. So all of our current Barre courses hold CECs, and also all of the Pilates courses will also hold CECs. So we'll put them through Oz Active. We love Oz Active, so we make sure that all of our courses go through that CEC process. So yes, that's correct. They will have all the CECs that you guys need.
Heather said they have multiple clubs across the country, and they're always interested in upskilling. So maybe you can tell her about corporate offers that we have.
Yes, so those of you who are running big corporate chains, so that's something that's really common nowadays, is that we do give group discounts. So those of you who are doing four or more people coming to our courses. We also do private courses. So I travel all around Australia, and I can actually go to your location. If you have 10 or more people, we can actually go to your location and do the teacher training at your location. So if you are interested, you do have kind of more of those multiple studios versus one studio, then we can either do the group discounts for more people, or we can do private trainings where we travel to you and do private trainings with your team. So they're really exciting. They're kind of a different experience again, but I think it's really important to know, no matter how you're going to see me, whether that be via Zoom, whether that be face-to-face, whether that be just through our pure online course. I'm really, really passionate about this work. I really love it. I've been doing it for a really long time. And I think that that kind of shines through no matter how you kind of experience it from us.
I think that's all the time we have. Maybe remind them of Instagram and the website.
Yes, perfect. So yeah, just starting to run out a bit of time now. So if you do join us on Instagram, so at Body Maestro by Renee Scott, which you'll kind of see on the Zoom there if you're unsure of how to spell that. On Facebook and on Instagram, they're the best ways to get on board. So if you follow us both on Facebook and on Instagram, that will put you in the running to win a free spot in our Barre teacher training coming up in September. And you'll also get a free spot in our Reformer group training courses coming up. So we've got 2 on offer, one for the Barre training, one for the group Reformer training that's coming up in Feb. And anybody that does have a corporate group or multiples that you want to know more about what we offer, if you send me an email, Renee at Body Maestro, so RENEE at Body Maestro, BODYMAESTRO.com. I'll also give you any further information in regards to those corporate offers and what we can actually do. We can do packages for the Barre training and the Reformer training and all of that all together if you like, or we can also do it separately for those things. So really exciting. We've got lots of opportunity and lots of ways of kind of moving forward with education, which, how fabulous is education? How fabulous is actually being in this field in the first place? So we're all really, really lucky to be in this position. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us today. Hopefully we'll have another one of these really soon, and I'll do something completely different. So always love working with Oz Active, and we'll do another workshop soon. If you do have any requests, you can pop them also in the chat. I'm happy to cover something else on our next kind of online workshop together. Thank you.